Chapter 8. Dimitri creates a portal bringing us to the back of a nightclub in what I imagined was Hollywood. Even from the outside, the music was pulsating. It had a hypnotic effect, making me feel at ease and anxious. I felt my wings involuntarily clicking to the beat before I noticed the man beside me looked severely different. Instead of a 10-foot-tall demon, I was beside a rugged man with tan skin and a thick beard. Still snug under his trench coat and fedora, Dimitri gave me a nod, signaling me to enter the mortal realm from the heavenly form. Dimitri gave me a nod, signaling me to enter the mortal realm from a heavenly form. It's for safety, Dimitri assures me. I would feel safer with my wings. You would feel safe if the entire room was filled with demons who hated angels. Demons dream of raping an angel. You'll not need to stay hidden for long. There's someone we must meet. Feel free to defend yourself however you see fit if things go awry. I beg of you, not to ruin our cover. Dimitri pleads with me as we hear the voices nearing the door, clasping his hands as if praying. I sighed, entering the mortal realm. My sword and armor were gone, but my white suit matched white loafers. Dimitri smiled in approval, nudging me forward as if I owned this place, as good as I looked draped in all white. The door swung open with two gunmen carrying AK-47s and wearing black sunglasses, and Dimitri quickly stepped in front of me holding up his hands. Gentlemen, how are you, my friends? Dimitri said in a heavy Arabic accent he manifested with his disguise. The two people's eyes hadn't left me, but their guns were holstered on their backs. Who is he? One asked, clicking his teeth with a whistle. He is a good friend of your boss. He told us to come to the back to skip the line and grab a meal on the way, Dimitri explained, rubbing his belly. They looked at each other. Dimitri slammed their skulls together while ripping their bodies out of the doorway. With another grand slam, they fell unconscious. You changed. You're already bringing too much attention, Dimitri sighed as he took the man's suit and guns. I snapped my fingers, losing the suit, quickly stripping off the guard and rushing his clothes on my body. Dimitri did the same, taking their socks, underwear, and undershirt, throwing them in the trash can. What are you doing? I asked, alarmed. If you leave them dressed, they'll feel confident to come inside. If the guards are stripped naked, they'll do whatever it takes to go home. The humans are ashamed of their flesh, Dimitri notes with his thick inflection. I nodded, learning a lot from his different approach. He stepped back inside. The kitchen moved too quickly to notice our brisk pace inside the building. I thought he had a contact, but the way Dimitri moved, he had a lead. And judging by the armed security, our meeting wasn't scheduled. You go first. Our lead will recognize I'm a demon. Dimitri halts as we reach the center of the music. The dance floor was relatively empty. Few people were on the floor moving in a trance with liquor in their cups. If you looked close enough, you could see the tiny demons and demon spores swimming in their glasses. Naked to the human eye, the demons sang and cheered as the humans gulped them up. The bartenders possessed husks, slinging out more demons by the bottle and pouring shot glasses of spores. This goes deeper and longer than I realized, I whispered. Dimitri probably couldn't hear me over the music. He seemed to be speaking, but I could hear nothing over the music. I could listen to nothing but the melody. I felt Dimitri's tight grip on me as he guided me through the mind-numbing beats. I felt like I drunk a whole cup of dirty Sprite with purple in my cup. The music held a strong power over me. Are you all right, Carter? Dimitri asked, and his normal voice right in my ear. Where are we? I shook it off. The world returned to normal as my eyes adjusted to the mortal world. I could only see a bunch of college kids and women sitting alone. The music didn't seem as loud. My heart was beating quicker and quicker until I can come to full grips with what was around me in the spiritual plane. I'm glad I listened in hindsight. He's up ahead. Be respectful. But I think he's going to take a liking to you. Tonight doesn't have to go bad. Dimitri pats my back. Let's get some info and get out of here. I rubbed my eyes, beginning to come to full grips with how dizzy I felt. We came upon the VIP area, a rosebud in the back of the dance room where a man sat in a black tuxedo. He had a wild grin and a giant chandelier above his head, shining light down. His eyes met us, and his smile turned into a look of disgust. Instead of calling for security, he met us directly. Soon I was looking up at a 7-foot man who appeared human in a bespoke tuxedo. What kind of trap did Dimitri lead me into here? Did Lilith send you here? I told you, we're the cops. If you want to stand outside and intimidate the rabble, then so be it. Get out of my club and stop harassing my honored guest. He had a delicate British accent, but a forked tongue. Who's Lilith? I asked, shrugging. We are here about all the demons, wondering what happened. You make the laws, my friend. We merely wanted to show our respects, Dimitri wooed. Lilith is the biggest thorn in my ass since... I don't think I've ever had a pain in my ass this big. So he fumed, gritting his teeth. I didn't invite these demons on Earth, if you ask me. They're multiplying like mad and being so bold. So neither of you is human either. There are demons here? I say as if I was little more than a human taking his first step into the occult. He chuckled, thrown off guard. Ha! I didn't say demons. This kid is funny. Are you a human? Dimitri revealed his proper form. The man was shocked as he looked up to Dimitri. He let out a sigh, realizing it might not be worthwhile. An easy smile settled on his face as he took a seat, fanning his hands around us and inviting us to join. So, what mess has Lilith gotten herself into now? He asked eagerly. Please, gentlemen, join me and have a seat. Dimitri looked over to me, giving me a shrug and sitting down. The place looked so stunning, a modern interpretation of a royal dining room. He chuckled in absolute amusement of my wonderment. I had died so early to enjoy drinking or clubbing. This whole aspect of life was new to me. To believe so many demons spent a second life walking around Earth in a human's flesh or disguise. It's wild. Your friend is an absolute delight, he laughed in his British accent. He's a great man, so you seem not to like Lilith much, huh? Dimitri nodded, trying to regain his attention. I hate that shrew. What do you want to know about Lilith? The lead enforced. What has she done to unleash all these demons on Earth? I asked, stepping into their conversation and taking a seat. Have there always been so many demons on Earth? Good question. I don't know which one to do first. I guess dealer's choice, so I'll pick. No, demons usually need a pass. I've been very strict about eternal damnation until a few decades ago. There had never been so much demonic activity from humans. The humans have completely submitted themselves to me and rejected my father entirely. I didn't ask. I had finally gotten everything I wanted, yet humans are fickle. Fickle. How so? Well, my principal theory is that humans believe in nothing. They're entirely ignorant of my father, and know little more of me by proxy. For so long, everything had been considered evil or sinful on Earth. Once their souls reach purgatory, they never reach hell. Until recently, a few men had died, then hell's been overflowing. Who was killed? Well, this is decades before your time, kid. JFK, his brother, MLK, and a wise man by X were all killed, and no one asked, no one cared. And then so many souls have walked through hell. Humans stopped caring for one another, so I stopped caring for anything good. I can't count the men who've asked where their money was or asked to see who got their money. but cared nothing about who came to their funeral or how their spouse or kids had done. It's a bit sickening, honestly. He continued, happy to discuss his perspective. Who are you? I finally asked. He grinned, wagging a finger at me. I'll answer that when you tell me what you are doing with the demon detective. You first. I am Lucifer, the Samael. Samael? That's the name of a former archangel. The angel with musical powers? I asked. I was a glorified choir director. I aspired for much more, but my father would have none of it. Wait. No one knows how you... Who are you, sir? He pressures with his eyes. Zemi, how about you pay attention over here? My friend get lost in the music and liquor. I need to lead on Lilith's underbosses. Ahab and Jezebel. Where are they? Dimitri enforces. Lucifer clicked his tongue, eyeing Dimitri before returning his attention to me. His eyes begged the question as his mouth fixed to answer Dimitri. I remained silent. My heartbeat knew if I revealed myself, I would be in for the fight of my life. Dimitri controlled the situation, clicking his tongue of trying to get a cat's attention. Lucifer sighed, looking at Dimitri. You think you're a pretty big guy, huh? Dare to compare? I'm not here for you, Sammy. We don't want to interrupt your party. There's a giant demon horn on Earth. Whether or not you know, it isn't my problem. However, it will be a real shame if all of your preachings die by a horde or raptured away. That does sound quite bad for business. You believe there's a real horde? Lucifer laughed. Dimitri didn't smile or frown. His face grew stern, releasing a moment of sullen mourning as he sighed and exhausted. Lucifer laughed harder. I assure you, gentlemen, you can relax. Lilith talks a big game, but those three are all secure. There's never been an actual demon invasion, not since the medieval ages, and once again the Dark Ages. The demons got purged, and the evil spirits returned to hell, where I securely reign supreme. Why would I worry myself? If the devil himself didn't believe there's a real threat. First, though, Dimitri was perturbed. You're a fool. It's the biggest fool I've ever seen in my life. You are sitting here on Earth beneath yourself in a weaker form. Playing bondmaid looks cool for some college mortals. Hell is in shambles. The darkest, most vile souls have escaped hell, and devastated hell, and now are on Earth. Those three, Lilith, Ahab, Jezebel, have escaped hell and have been present on Earth, planning their takeover for decades. That guy was the first to see the horde and how it grows. They have been reproducing by spores. Look around your club, Sammy. Or have you been pretending to be human so long you lost your sight? You can't even see how your club falls apart around you, exhausted in drugs and money. You have completely lost your grip of hell. All the mortals who worship you on Earth have forsaken you for Ahab and Jezebel, while Lilith pulls strings. Come on, Carter. This washed-up SOB is no Dark Lord. We must find the new Dark Lords to stop the invasion, because our buddy Sammy can't be bothered. Dimitri asserted, standing up to leave. I'm Carter. Enoch Carter, an ethereal detective. I faced off with Lilith tonight. I got trapped inside of a church surrounded by at least 10,000 demons. Dimitri came here because he thought it would help. But you're more Lucifer than Samael. Lilith is in heaven now. Heaven? What? How did she? Lucifer fumed, gritting his teeth and tossing a couch out of the VIP, rolling into the carpeted floors. Dimitri and I hopped back, unsure if a fight were to ensue. Instead, he fell to his knees, looking out to the dance floor to see our suspicions were confirmed. Dad isn't going to let me hear the end of this one. I had one freaking job to keep my kingdom, Lucifer roared louder than the music itself momentarily before the beats took over. What is going on, Zammy? The music inquires, grabbing his AK-47 as the room gets alarmed by Lucifer's sudden mood change. It's not what's going on. It's what happened, you idiot. Angels weren't entirely perfect, and I was the proof of that. God, He is the only perfect one. When a third of the angels followed me, heaven was destabilized and had to restructure itself. Likewise, when the first humans failed to obey God, with or without my intervention, albeit if humanity failed, then I would inherit Earth, a son's recompense for failing its father. All I had to do was direct all the evil souls to hell and keep them out of heaven and off Earth. So I created a few kooky religions to make agreeable humans sensible and weed out troublemakers. His creation was clever, and every time my father intervened, either I was to pay or humanity. It's much easier to get humans to blame themselves than to face erasure. You created religion. I guess, surprised. No one, yes. Man created religion, and God created man. I send in a man under my possession and keep close eyes on his prophets. Sometimes their wife or trusted advisor. Then when God's prophets meet an unexpected end, my people can take over because they infiltrated at the beginning. However, I didn't imagine what would happen from dividing so many humans for so long. They blame each other. But it's my followers and me. It's not exactly grounds for erasure. Subverting humanity and leaving them with the problems is my thing. Like when you and your angel buddies thought it would be fun to meet with humans and other mortals. Creating this entire problem, Dimitri snorted. Well, what can I say? I'm the frickin' devil. Lucifer smiled, picking himself up. This one you can't blame on humanity. You failed at your job. You're getting erased, Dimitri said unforgivingly. I didn't open any of these demon portals. I gave no one any and I would have never let those 3 wounded souls out of eternal damnation. I don't even know Ahab. I've never seen him before either. And Jezebel and Lilith are old flames, unable to relinquish a grudge. Eve wasn't so bitter. Some people can't handle good loving. You know, Enoch? You met Lilith. What man could keep his hands off her, you know? Lucifer attempted to gain my sympathy. I sent Lilith to heaven for erasure with Archangel Raphael. I refused her today. Not before she told me how she ended up in hell and who was responsible. You admit to sleeping with Eve too? You think you can pull some sting operation on me with only the 2 of you? Lucifer shook his head. I'm only here to end the demon invasion. I could care less about your sex life. There are far more attractive women than Lilith. Maybe your lack of discipline got you into the situation I accused. You were supposed to be the cool one, Enoch. Low blow, mate. Lucifer held his heart. Tell us how to stop the invasion. A shit ton of guns, a shit ton of holy water, a fucking rapture, and maybe an army? What the hell? Did you listen to yourself? What would you tell me if I held you captive in your establishment and asked how to stop an angel invasion? He eyeballed me closer, studying me for the first time since we met and finally taking me seriously. He almost got me, but I see your point, I noted, realizing the severity of the situation, and there's no solution. At least not one my enemy would tell me. Now, if you gentlemen like to be murdered, but first viciously tortured and mutilated for my enjoyment, before returning to your pathetic afterlives as someone's dead pet dog, bugger off before I lose my bloody mind and kick you out myself. Lucifer snarled, standing up and flexing his muscles at us, clenching his teeth so hard his veins popped out of his neck.